Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today I'd like to introduce you guys to the second episode of Super Smash Builds, the show where we go over real builds by real people. Thank you for tuning in for the second installment where we'll be going over the May submissions, covering the top 5 as chosen by you guys from the ScatterVolt Discord server. And if you're interested in submitting your own computer to this show, then a link to the ScatterVolt Discord server will be in the description, where you can find out the rules for submissions and what you can do to apply for the overall competition. And if you're new to the channel, especially from the Tech Vendors build competition that happened last weekend, then the official video where you can vote on your favorite Tech Vendors build will be happening this Sunday. So definitely be in the works for that one. It's gonna be a really fun video. And on that note, if you're new to this series in general, Super Smash Builds was created to not just list off the specs and prices of budget gaming computers from different members of the ScatterVolt Discord server, but I really wanted to emphasize with this series is to cover the different experiences and stories that each member has had with their own personal computer, as well as having an overall universal benchmark within these different computers, so you can kind of get an idea of how well each performance of each computer stacks up against each other. So now with that all the way, let's go ahead and get into these submissions. Coming in at number 5, we have Waterlogged, which is from Tyler. Now this is a budget computer, and let's go ahead and quickly look at the specs before we get into the story. This guy is rocking an FX 6300 6-core processor, a Hyper 212 Evo, Asus M5A97 ATX motherboard, what looks like to be 12 gigabytes? No, 10 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, sorry about that. 2 Western Digital Blue hard drives, a 7870, Corsair Spec 02 case, XFX power supply, all for $170. Incredible. So let's go ahead and look at the description. First, I like to start with the name from a budget build, Waterlogged. The heart of this computer is from an iBuyPower PC that my cousin's girlfriend knocked a 32-ounce soda into while he was in a mid-League of Legends game. He doesn't build computers nor really know anything about the hardware, he just plays games and watches streams. Cool. Instead of him buying another pre-built, he just asked me to help him build a new computer, and he said he would give me the broken one and whatever parts worked out, or just keep him. Oh, okay, so you basically help this guy out, and in turn, you get to keep some of his older components, which apparently have been waterlogged, or I guess in this case, just have a bunch of soda spilled on them. So after some testing, I found out that the only thing that survived was the CPU, hard drive, and graphics card, which was a 650, he didn't keep it. His favorite memory with this computer was honestly that he gone from something that was destined for the dumpster into a capable budget gaming machine. Definitely impressive, I agree. Everything in the system can be overclocked, that's awesome, including that 6300 at 4.5 gigahertz. And those different memory modules, interesting. Let's go and see how we got those insane prices on the RAM, hard drive, graphics card. So yes, he got that 6-core FX 6300 from that soda down PC. That's great. He got some extra memory sticks from an HP Compact Pro, very interesting. He bought an old 7870 from a friend who was upgrading to a 3090X. And let's see, he's got the 500 gigabyte Western Digital Blue hard drive from the Drowned computer case. And he just has that Corsair Carbide Spec 02 from that cyber-powered PC case. Oh, and he got a $15 XFX power supply. Wow, crazy. Insane buy right there. Anyways, very impressive budget gaming computer. As I can see from the photos, it looks clean. You definitely made it look like it wasn't drowned in a lot of soda. But here's your benchmark score of 4,759 with that 6300 and 7870. Definitely impressive. I love the story, and thank you for not giving up on that computer. Like you said, it could have definitely ended up in the dumpster, but no. You chose to revive it and use it for your own use, so props to you for that. Next up at number 4, we have my man Papa Phils. He's popped into the ScatterVolt live stream a few times when we did game day back in the beginning of the year, so I'm a little bit familiar with this guy. Anyways, before we get into the photos and the story, let's quickly look at the parts. Papa Phils is rocking a Ryzen 5 1600, an Asus Strix X370 motherboard, a G-Skill Trident Z RGB memory kit, okay, an Intel 760p series 256GB M.2 drive, a 1TB Western Digital Blue drive, a GTX 1070, wow, a Thermaltake View 27 ATX mid-tower case, a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of Razer gaming peripherals, and 2 Acer 24-inch monitors that, at least from what's given on PC Part Picker, is $15,040 not 15,000, ew, $1,548. All right, Papa Phils, you have a very nice looking computer, especially in that beautiful Thermaltake case. That honestly, I don't like the airflow of it because there's no fans on top. But of course, that's just the design of it, so that's the compromise from having such a crazy good case. I'm not gonna criticize that part though, because it is a fantastic looking case. And let's see, he's got the left side, a bunch of photos. This is a very nice looking computer, especially with those lights and all that, but I really wish, Papa, that you had a better camera so you can really see the full beauty and glory behind this computer. Cable management looks good from the back, you know? I mean, don't need to be too crazy about that. And what's interesting is that you're using the stock AMD cooler for that X370 board and 1600. That is very interesting, Papa Phils, and I think your next upgrade should be getting a better CPU cooler. That'd be something definitely worth looking into. Let's see, and he uses his headset, he uses the two front IO panel connectors on the case, the microphone and headphone jack, to hold his headset. That's very creative. Anyways though, I would have liked to seen a story, Papa Phils, because you have a very interesting computer. I would have loved to heard why you chose going with that 6-core Ryzen processor or that 1070, and why you chose the case and all that. So I would have liked to have seen a story, but you definitely have a very beautiful computer, and thank you for submitting it, and congrats on getting position number 4. Next, we have the Stallion PC. Now this one personally is my favorite for a lot of reasons, as you'll soon find out, but looking at the specs, the Stallion computer is rocking an i7-920 quad-core processor, 16GB of DDR3 memory, a 60GB Corsair Force LS SSD, a 1TB Western Digital Blue drive, a 970, a regular ATX mid-tower, a 600-watt EVGA power supply, and a DVD/CD writer, Windows 10, for $442. All right, so for the Stallion computer, let's look at the story. So this is my budget PC, codenamed Stallion, just because I haven't given it a name and has a cool horse sticker on its side. Anyways, he assembled this computer about half a year ago during my senior year in high school. So he picked up his old Dell XPS 5T PC with an i7-920 for $100 after haggling the seller. Okay, this is from someone else. And from the original $250 price that he was selling it for. Definitely impressive. So it came with Windows 7, which he upgraded to Windows 10 for free, yes, and 9 gigs of RAM across 6 channels. He pulled a 4 gig stick out of an unused family PC, which he combined for a total of 12 gigs of RAM. Okay, very interesting, but at least it works for you, so that's good. It looks like he also managed to pick himself a free Dell Optiplex system from another seller that same day, which came with a poopy Reno graphics card that he sold to some CSU student for $70 that he later used to get a better graphics card with. That's really good. Anyways, he had a friend who gave him 16 gigs of RAM, a 60GB SSD, and a better Radeon 5770 to use in his build because he'd also gotten a free separate system from the same mom who gave away her kid's PC because he was gaming too much. Anyway, so after saving some more money, he eventually got enough to pay for a GTX 970 he got for $150. Definitely a good buy, I'd say, for 2 years ago, I want to say, which brought the total of this computer to $210. So discard that $400 number I gave earlier in the video. This thing is actually $210. Anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and move on to the pictures. Here we have a superposition score, which is with that 970 and i7-920, which is 2,128. I mean, we can most definitely see that from that old i7 processor, which I guarantee you, Nuclear Nick, if you were to upgrade that, you would most definitely get a faster computer right away. Oh, never mind. So here's his actual score, 7,727, which is the medium 1080p benchmark for superposition. That's a very impressive score, actually. That's better than Tyler's system with that 7870 and 6300. So that just goes to show you could still sort of combine a newer end graphics card with an older processor and still get a very good bang for your buck system that would definitely be certainly as powerful, if not more, than some budget gaming computers today. Anyways, here's some photos of the computer. I love your style with your setup. That's very interesting, especially with the tape. I mean, that's just cool. It looks like it's, man, you would love what Minox is doing with their gaming products if you don't know who they are. Definitely look into them. Anyways, I really love your style. I love just the authenticity of the look of your computer. You've put so much work and thought into it. That's just really cool. And you've done a lot of deal searching too. So I'm very happy that your computer turned out so well and that it's able to game for you quite well, especially with that, I'd say, surprising superposition benchmark score. Anyways, thank you, Nuclear Nick, and now let's move on to number 2. Now we have Kaboom Designs. This is the same guy who suggested the name for the $500 Electrobyte computer on Twitter, and luckily he actually got a submission to number 2 on Super Smash Builds, which is very awesome. I don't have your PC part picker link pulled up, but we can tell the specifications of your computer through your really impressive superposition benchmark score. So you have an AMD Ryzen 5 1600 and a GTX 1050 2GB graphics card and 16GB of RAM. So what's interesting is that you have this Ryzen 5 6-core processor and a budget 1050, which is a really odd mix. I'd love to know why you chose to go with that, because that's really similar to what I did with my first gaming PC, where I chose a quad-core i5 2500K and a low-end Radeon 7770, which was about like a $200 i5 processor and a $100 graphics card. So I'd love to know why you chose that build configuration for your computer. I would assume that's probably just so you can have a powerful processor to use later down the road, which you can most certainly rely on, because I used that old i5 for 5 years straight. But anyways, that's really interesting. I'd like to know why. So looking at the photos, you're of course rocking that beautiful NZXT Source 310 or 410? I forgot. Case that's white. Definitely a really nice looking case. Looks like you're sporting just a mostly black and white system. However, your cable management is a little bit out of whack, especially with that NZXT case. You can most definitely get some better cable management in there. So I would look into that Kaboom, because for having such a nice system, that's something you definitely don't want to slack on. Yes, you definitely need to look into cable management. You have that nice little Lancia model car at the top of your case. That's a nice little touch. So now let's go ahead and look at his story. So his favorite story with his computer was that he was waiting forever, and when it came to Christmas time, he ran down to the living room where he had all his gifts, and he found his gift, ripped it open, and found a new Ryzen 5 1600 and B350 motherboard. Just ecstatic. I can relate to you on that. So whenever he was building his computer, he got somebody from the ScatterVolt Discord server that helped him set up the CPU and CPU cooler and RAM onto the motherboard, because it was his first time building this computer. That's crazy. That's really cool. Unfortunately, he didn't have the case yet because he forgot to order it, so he waited about a week and got the NZXT S340. Sorry, my memory is a little bit weak on NZXT cases. And after many hours and checking, he booted it up, installed Discord and Steam, and went to game. And he said that was probably the best amount of satisfaction I've ever felt, and that was my first and best experience with my PC. That is a very nice story, and you've got a very complimentary score of 4,727 to complement that. Anyways, very nice system, Kaboom Designs, and congrats on getting number 2. Finishing things off, we have Azores PC build winning the number 1 spot as voted on the ScatterVolt Discord server. And this just might have to be the most interesting system I've come across, but there are definitely some very interesting reasons as to why I could see Azure winning that number 1 spot. But let's go ahead and quickly look at the specifications, which might surprise you. So Azure is rocking an i5 8600K, a CryoRig H5 Ultimate CPU cooler, an Asus ROG Strix Z370 motherboard, and 8GB of Team Dark Team Group memory at 3000 MHz, a Kingston A400 120GB SSD, a 1TB WD Blue hard drive, a Fractal Design Meshify C ATX mid-tower case, a Corsair TXM Gold 550W 80+ gold power supply, all at $1,000. So I know what you're thinking, where's the graphics card? I'm glad you asked, because Azure actually goes into that in the description of the computer. So Azure built this computer to withstand a lot of most intermediate games because he wanted to build this computer to suit his hobby of creating music. However, whenever he was building this computer, he was originally going for a Ryzen 5 2400G, then it moved to a Ryzen 5 1600X, and then he finally settled on an i5 8600K. That's very interesting. He was at least able to overclock to 4.3 GHz, which is of course good, and he chose to settle with 8 GB of RAM at 3000 MHz due to the inflated RAM prices at the time. I definitely can understand why. Anyways, he also wanted a case with a tempered glass side panel, and the Meshify C stood out to me from all the others because he particularly liked that mesh front and that geometric shape that the case presents, which I most definitely agree. That's a very beautiful looking case. But not on the graphics card part, he didn't feel the need for a graphics card as he says that he's not a heavy gamer and they were very pricey. I definitely can see why, because probably at the time of you building his computer, graphics cards were at their peak in terms of inflation and price, which may have been like in January of this year. And I mean, kind of comparing from my own personal experiences being a college student, I've rarely had the opportunity to really game on this machine while I was a college student and YouTuber and bodybuilder at the same time. So I mean, honestly, if I were building a new system today, I would probably not hesitate in not getting a graphics card, because I just simply don't game that much, so I can definitely understand your reasoning as to why. But at the very least though, when it comes to the presentation of your computer, you have just, I think, the best color scheme out of this entire PC build competition. You have a very stealthy, yet just, I'd say just, what would you say? You have a very subtle, yet emphasizing black and gray color scheme, which I really dig. If there's systems that can pull off like a black and gray look at the same time, those just look the best to me. And you've got that really nice dark rock, that really nice cryo rig CPU cooler on it with that gray fan, and you got the little gray accent from that Asus motherboard, and the gray, or in a sense almost like gunmetal silver-ish Team Group RAM, which looks so nice in this entire system. And you've got that beautiful Meshify C case to complement the entire system. And there it is on, and the RGB lights, or that blue LED light, just tops it all off. And I really like the compact design of the case too, you know? I mean, you didn't need a graphics card at the time, but I wouldn't look the other way if you said this was a gaming system, because just from looking at it, it already looks very intimidating and very fast. However though, you got a score of 2,846 on superposition at 720p low. Now, we don't really grade benchmark scores in Super Smash builds. We don't do that at all. However, you might have set the record for the lowest score ever right now in Super Smash builds for your superposition benchmark. So congratulations on that. However, that's what you get for not having a graphics card in your system, which I don't blame for you at all. But I just kind of find it funny, because you know, it's 720p at low using those integrated Intel graphics. But regardless, very beautiful system, most definitely the most clean and well presented out of this entire list. I would have personally liked to see some more pictures of the outside of your computer like that last one you provided, but overall, very solid submission, and congrats on winning #1. Anyways, that is it for the second episode of Super Smash Builds. If you'd like to submit your computer for the June submissions, then a link to the ScatterVolt Discord server will be linked in the description, where you can find out the rules and overall content for how to submit your computer. Anyways, without further ado, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and all that, and this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.